Good afternoon and welcome to this Tuesday, February 19th edition of Westman Newsline. I'm Colton Yarch alongside Tamara Pimentel and Randy Joseph Lilly. In today's news, we'll have details on the memorial held yesterday for a man and 3 children in the town of Wascata after a tragic plane crash claimed their lives last week. As well, this cold weather may have caused the death of a 54-year-old man in Landmark. And after all that bad news, Tamara will be in with sports. Tamara, the Wheaties were in action last night. Were they able to carry over some momentum they gained in their weekend set with Kootenay?
Well, Colton, any momentum they had after their impressive weekend doubleheader with the Ice got squashed last week in Saskatoon. I'll have that story and more later on in sports.
Thanks, Tamara. And Randy will be in with weather. Randy, please tell me that Groundhog Day isn't a myth and that we'll still see in early spring.
Oh, we'll see an early spring, all right. An early spring with some snow, some wind chill warnings, and some -40 weather. Currently in Brandon, it is mainly sunny and -27. With the wind chill, it feels more like -37. I'll be back later on in the show with your full weather details.
Thanks, Randy. More than 1,300 mourners braved blowing snow and reduced visibility to attend a funeral for 3 boys and an experienced crop dusting pilot killed in a plane crash in western Manitoba. The mourners packed into a construction company shop in Wascata Monday to say farewell to Darren Spence, his 2 young sons Logan and Gage, and the boys' friend Dawson Pentecost. The 4 died when the 6-seater Cessna 210 they were in crashed February 10th in a field a few kilometers north of Wascata. The boys were hockey players and the game was the theme of the memorial as the trio was thanked for representing the community through their hard work, determination, and class. Wascata Mayor Gary Williams says the community will have to recover from the enormity of the tragedy. Trust funds have been set up to help cover funeral costs for the Pentecost family and to send local kids to hockey camp. RCMP say a man found at the side of a road near Landmark, Manitoba is unlikely to be the victim of foul play. Officers were called to investigate after someone found the man about 50 meters from his vehicle. It appears it had hit the ditch and the man had tried to walk for help. Poor visibility and unsafe road conditions were reported in the area at the time. The individual has been identified as a 54-year-old local man, but his name is not being released. Manitoba RCMP say 2 men are facing charges after a violent armed robbery in a home in Portage la Prairie. Police say 2 men began banging on the door about 6:30 a.m. on Saturday. When the homeowner opened the door, 2 armed and disguised men barged in wielding a baseball bat and what police are calling an edged weapon. The homeowner was beaten and taken to hospital, but his life is not in danger. 2 18-year-olds, one from Carman, Manitoba, and the other from Portage la Prairie, face a long string of robbery and assault charges. Tobin James Roulette and Jagger James Beaulieu are to appear in Portage Provincial Court later today. The skies look like they're finally going to start clearing today in Manitoba. Yesterday, driving conditions were treacherous due to blowing snow, icy roads, and 0 visibility. RCMP reported at least 30 crashes by yesterday afternoon, and some highways had to be closed. Manitoba student athletes who switch high schools may have to sit out a year of eligibility starting in September. The Manitoba High Schools Athletic Association is looking at a so-called red shirt rule, which would require transferring students to give up a year of varsity sports unless they meet strict criteria. The move is being sparked by complaints about top athletes being used to stack teams for a chance at a provincial championship. There could be exceptions made for students whose families move between school years, who are moving to escape bullying, or whose parents are split. And with that, let's take a look at where today's money markets are currently sitting.
Westman Newsline, produced by the IMA Media Production students of Assiniboine Community College. Local news, weather, and sports on Brandon's only TV newscast, Westman Newsline, airing at 1 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on WCG-TV.
A new report from a U.S. cybersecurity firm paints an alarming picture of computer hacking in China. It says hackers are waging an extensive campaign of cyber espionage from a location near Shanghai with the support of the Chinese government. CNN's David McKenzie has more from Beijing.
The dramatic allegations are coming from a US-based security firm. They say that not tens but hundreds of Chinese hackers have been persistently attacking particularly US companies to steal their secrets. They say they are based mainly in these nondescript buildings near Shanghai in China. And not only are they trying to steal companies' secrets and infiltrate global corporations, but that they are doing it in the cooperation of the People's Liberation Army, or PLA. Mandiant, the Virginia-based company, says that the Chinese government is aware and could be directing these attacks, and that over years, terabytes of data have been stolen from some very key industries, including aerospace and high-tech and IT. The Chinese government has strongly come out against the allegations, saying that they are, quote, irresponsible and baseless. They took the unusual step to point the finger in the other direction, saying that the Chinese are also victims of hacking. Mandiant said it took the unusual step of releasing their research so that other security companies can protect their clients globally, and that they could stop the specific hackers by outing them in the public. Global terror experts say that not only corporate crime could be caused by hacking like this, but that the next terror suspects will be using cybercrime to infiltrate targets. Mackenzie, CNN, Beijing.
While Congress works on an immigration reform bill, similar work in the White House has set Republican lawmakers on edge. Athena Jones reports.
While President Obama played golf with Tiger Woods at a private club in Florida, his new chief of staff defended the White House against charges it's trying to sabotage congressional efforts to reach a deal on immigration by drafting its own bill without consulting Republicans.
We are doing exactly what we said we'd do, which is we'll be prepared in the event that the bipartisan talks going on the Hill, which, by the way, we're very aggressively supporting. If those do not work out, then we'll have an option that we'll be ready to put out there.
The White House says its immigration bill is strictly a plan B if Congress doesn't act. But a draft of the bill obtained by USA Today drew fire from Republicans who support the White House needs. Senator Marco Rubio called it half-baked, seriously flawed, and dead on arrival. Rubio, like John McCain, is a key GOP negotiator.
Leaks don't happen in Washington by accident. This raises the question that many of us continue to wonder about. Does the president really want a result, or does he want another cudgel to beat up Republicans so that he can get political advantage in the next election?
In the draft from USA Today, the White House would let undocumented immigrants apply for a new kind of visa so they could legally live and work in the U.S. They could seek permanent residency within 8 years if they pay back taxes and learn English, U.S. history, and civics. The White House insists it's committed to working with Republicans and supporting what Congress does for now.
And we're going to continue to work with Senator Rubio and others on this. But he says it's dead on arrival if it's proposed. Well, let's make sure that it doesn't have to be proposed.
Congressional negotiators plan to unveil their draft legislation next month. Athena Jones, CNN, Washington.
That's it for news, but stay tuned. Randy's up next with Newsline Weather.
Good afternoon with Newsline Weather. I'm Randy Joseph Lilly. Rather than create some suspense, I'll just rip the Band-Aid off right now. There is a wind chill warning in effect, and you do not want to be outside very long. Any exposed skin is vulnerable to frostbite after only 10 minutes. Currently in Brandon, it is mainly sunny and minus 27. With the wind chill, it feels more like minus 37. This evening, same thing, except the sun will have set and the sky will be clear. Wind chill should still be a factor, and it'll feel like minus 37. Overnight, it'll cool off even more, and minus 30 is what we should expect. With the wind chill, minus 41. Taking a look at our radar image, very little precipitation anywhere in our province. Moving to our satellite image, you'll see some very heavy cloud cover for the next few days, and it should clear up by the end of the weekend. Moving to our 5-day forecast now, usually these numbers would be a bad sign, but with what we're seeing today, I'll take a minus 17 and minus 18 any day. Winds should not be too bad, and expect some snow on Tuesday. Otherwise, it's the usual. Now let's take a look around the region. Winnipeg's in at minus 26, Portage minus 27, Dauphin is in at minus 25, Carberry and Killarney are in at minus 27, Neepawa is in at minus 23, Minnedosa minus 26, and Verdun rounds us out at minus 29. Seasonal norms for this time of year are a high of -7 and a low of -18, so we are way below normal for this time of year. Way below. The record high was +5.7 set back when Big Brother was watching you in 1984. The record low is -39.4, which was set back in 1966. I can only imagine what that must have felt like. Well, wait a minute. Once again in Brandon, it is mainly sunny and -27, but with the wind chill, it feels more like -37. That's it for weather, but stick around. Tamara's up next with Newsline Sports.
Good afternoon with Newsline Sports. I'm Tamara Pimentel. The Tournament of Champions wrapped up this past weekend at the Keystone Center. Newsline went to Westman Place to ask some of the coaches about the experience. This past week, the Keystone Center hosted the Tournament of Champions. Boys and girls hockey teams from all over Manitoba and outside the province competed in various age groups. According to Rob Murray, coach of the Norman Wild girls team, the tournament is both a great and challenging experience for these young hockey players.
Well, they enjoy being together as a team, so it don't matter where we play. They have a lot of fun. We're short benched, which is pretty tough on the girls, but they just look forward to being with each other and playing against other girls in the province.
Although hockey may be the main thing on the minds of these players, the traveling and the chance to be with their friends might just be the best part. Portage La Prairie boys coach Rodney Dickinson says there is more to this experience than just hockey.
Yeah, the Tournament of Champions, and even any tournament when they go on the road, they're young kids, hotels, pools, you know. Sometimes the game becomes secondary to them.
After a week of competition, the Adams, Kiwis, and Bandons have crowned their champions, and was sure to have been a great experience for all who were involved. The Saskatoon Blades scored 5 unanswered goals to win their 12th straight game 5-1 over the Brandon Wheat Kings on Monday. Darren Dietz, Lucas Sutter, Josh Nichols, Matisse Jansky, and Shane McColgan each scored for Saskatoon. Jason Suripa opened the scoring in the first period with Brandon's first and last goal. Blades goaltender Andriy Makarov made 19 saves. Curtis Honey had a far busier night in the Wheat Kings net, where he was forced to stop 40 shots. The Brandon University Bobcats basketball teams wrapped up another year this past weekend as they hosted the University of Regina Cougars at the Healthy Living Center. The last games of a season are always memorable, but for one Cougar guard, it meant his final games were played right here in his own backyard. Brandonite and former Neyland Spartan Sterling Nosted returned home for his final contest as a CIS player. The fifth-year senior entered the weekend just three-pointers shy of third all-time in Cougars history. But all things must come to an end, and playing in front of his hometown with friends and family in attendance seemed a fitting way to do it.
No better way to go out. Playing against the Bobcats, it means a lot coming home. It's just a whole lot of fun. Me and Coach Thompson from back at high school will be out there probably yelling at me again. It'll feel like home again. It'll be nice.
Oscar Pistorius says he shot his girlfriend to death by mistake, thinking she was a robber. The double amputee said at his bail hearing Tuesday that he felt vulnerable because he did not have his prosthetic legs when he pumped bullets into the locked bathroom door. Then he realized that model Riva Steenkamp was not in his bed. He put on his legs, tried to kick down the door, then bashed it in with a cricket bat to find Steenkamp shot inside. He said he ran downstairs with her, but she died in his arms. The bail hearing was adjourned until tomorrow. And Colton, that's it for sports.
Thanks, Tamara. And that's all the time we have for you today. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for Brandon's only TV newscast, Westman Newsline.